Breaking. Just minutes ago, something extraordinary happened live on international television. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu dropped a political bombshell so unexpected that UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer was left visibly stunned, unable to speak, unable even to react, as millions watched in disbelief. This was no routine diplomatic exchange. It was a global moment of shock that has thrown London, Jerusalem, and Washington into total upheaval. The confrontation began at a highly anticipated UK-Israel joint press conference in Jerusalem. The event was billed as a strategic cooperation dialogue, but insiders say tensions had been simmering behind the scenes for weeks. Reports had surfaced that Starmer's government had quietly supported a European resolution criticizing Israel's defense operations, despite publicly claiming neutrality. When Netanyahu took the podium, his tone was calm at first. He spoke of friendship, security, and shared democratic values. Then his expression changed. He looked directly at Starmer, his voice cutting through the room. "True friendship," he said, "means honesty, not hidden agendas. Those who speak of peace while enabling hostility are not partners. They are pretenders." The silence that followed was deafening. Cameras zoomed in on Starmer, who blinked rapidly, glanced toward his aides, and gave no reply. He had been called out, live, on air, by one of the most formidable leaders in the world. Within seconds, social media exploded. Netanyahu bombshell, Starmer speechless, and Britain in uproar began trending globally. Clips flooded TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. Commentators called it the most direct diplomatic humiliation a British leader has faced in decades. But what truly set the internet on fire was what came next. Netanyahu paused, adjusted his microphone, and dropped the line that would dominate world headlines. Britain must choose between posturing for applause and standing for truth. Israel will remember which path London takes. That sentence hit like a thunderclap. In one stroke, Netanyahu had transformed a joint appearance into a moral trial of British leadership, and Starmer was the defendant. Back in London, news outlets broke into live coverage. BBC anchors looked visibly shaken as they replayed the footage in slow motion. One analyst whispered on air, "He's frozen. Starmer doesn't know what to do." Inside Number 10, chaos erupted. Advisors scrambled to craft a response while opposition MPs demanded clarity. Had Britain been caught double-dealing Israel behind the scenes? Leaks from Whitehall suggested that private memos had indeed advised the Foreign Office to distance itself from Israeli aggression to maintain EU favor. If true, Netanyahu had just exposed Starmer's secret policy. Live to the world. That night, protesters gathered outside Westminster waving Israeli and British flags side by side. Some shouted, "Stand with Israel." Others yelled, "Starmer betrayed our allies." London police were forced to close Parliament Square as tensions boiled over. By dawn, Britain was awake to a new reality. Its prime minister had been publicly humiliated, its foreign policy questioned, and its credibility torn apart on global television. But as bad as it seemed, insiders warned, the real shock was yet to come. The next morning, Britain was in full-blown political meltdown. Headlines screamed across every paper, "Netanyahu's bombshell stuns Starmer." The footage of Starmer's frozen expression dominated every network feed. At 7 a.m., Downing Street attempted damage control. A government spokesperson read a short, shaky statement. The Prime Minister remains committed to a strong relationship with Israel. But the statement failed to calm the storm. Political commentators shredded it as vague, defensive, and pathetic. Even members of Starmer's own party began voicing concern. One Labour MP told Sky News, "This wasn't diplomacy, it was disaster." The Prime Minister looked unprepared, exposed, and weak. Across Britain, public reaction was fierce. Phone-in shows filled with callers demanding accountability. Polls showed 72% of Britons believed Netanyahu had won the exchange. One viral tweet read, "Netanyahu brought truth. Starmer brought excuses." Meanwhile, Israel doubled down. The Israeli Foreign Ministry released an official statement declaring, "We speak openly with friends." Britain should do the same. It was diplomacy with a dagger's edge. In Westminster, the fallout was immediate. Opposition parties demanded an emergency parliamentary debate on the collapse of UK credibility abroad. Starmer's ministers reportedly argued late into the night about how to repair the damage. One insider told The Guardian, "He kept saying, 'Why didn't anyone warn me he'd do this live?'" But Netanyahu's move had been deliberate. Intelligence briefings later revealed that his office had been tracking London's diplomatic tone for months, and chose this moment, with maximum visibility, to confront it. The strategy worked flawlessly. Internationally, the impact was seismic. Washington issued a carefully worded statement urging restraint on all sides. European capitals distanced themselves from Starmer's comments, wary of being drawn into the dispute. And Middle Eastern media outlets praised Netanyahu's clarity and strength. Economically, markets trembled. British defense contractors with Israeli partnerships saw shares drop overnight. Investors worried that the rift could freeze billions in trade. But for ordinary Britons, it wasn't about economics. It was about leadership. Was their prime minister capable of standing firm on the world stage? Or had he just been exposed as a politician out of his depth? That question dominated every headline. Political analysts called it Starmer's defining moment and his greatest failure. By week's end, Parliament looked fractured. Leaked polls showed Starmer's approval rating had plummeted to its lowest point since taking office. A quiet panic settled over Downing Street. One aide reportedly said he keeps replaying the video. You can tell he knows it's over. Meanwhile, Netanyahu's approval at home surged. In Israel, the press hailed him as the leader who defended national honor against Western hypocrisy. Across Europe, his fiery remarks were being studied as a masterclass in political dominance. And in Britain, a single still frame, a prime minister silent, eyes downcast, lips parted in disbelief, became the meme of the year, a foreign leader who spoke without fear. A British prime minister left without words, and a world now asking who truly holds the moral high ground. Did Netanyahu expose double standards, or did he simply seize a moment Britain wasn't ready for? Was this diplomacy or domination? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We read every single one. And if this story shocked you as much as it shocked Westminster, hit that subscribe button right now, because the next confrontation between world leaders could rewrite history before our eyes. The microphones may be off, but the echoes of this bombshell are just beginning.